Hey, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Rayge, and we are back today to continue where we left off with the last attempt here on Node 3 for Dark Dimension 7. My 5 characters being Apocalypse, Ghost Rider Robbie Reyes, Super Skrull, Vulture, and Black Knight. Having said that, let's continue where we left off. Indeed, out of the 3 nodes so far, this one's definitely the hardest because we had such a hard and difficult starting point with the couple of Nightcrawlers to begin with. Obviously Extreme X-Men, but what was nice is we were able to save a lot of our cooldowns from last time, so we were able to start things off now with Super Skrull Ultimate. And again, we have to be very, very careful and focused in on those Nightcrawlers because it's just a very strong character overall, and there's a lot of Extreme X-Men, as you can see even with Gambit doing the passive pings. I can definitely see why this node would be very, very problematic if you don't have Super Skrull or Apocalypse. Now, turn meter rewinding that right side there, but remember the focus is going to be on these Extreme X-Men characters just because of their synergy. You want to get them out of the way so that way we're controlling the board, but as well these game-changing characters like Nightcrawler, right? We were able to activate Apocalypse Ultimate here too, and I would recommend taking down Gambit just because of the fact that he's got the passive attacks. Thankfully, the Red Hulk in that corner has been stunned too, so we were, taking advantage of the crowd controlling that we have. But yeah, this is why the Nightcrawler needs to go down. You can see just how powerful his ultimate is, and then yeah, already from the get-go we lose Vulture. So it's just a simple example of how difficult this node can be if you're not careful and taking down the right enemy. So with Vulture going down, we're probably going to be a little bit more conservative now in the gameplay because we want to focus on those key targets, and that's probably what's going to happen here, right? You need to digest it slowly at a time with this Dark Dimension 7. We have 1 attack each day, so we might as well focus on key targets like what we're doing right now. The other thing too is landing an ability block controlling Forge is going to be big because you want to make sure that he's not going to be reviving one of the Nightcrawlers that we took down. So thankfully here, now we're in a great opportunity moment. This next wave does spawn, unfortunately, with another Red Hulk, so you got to be mindful of that as well. And we're just slowly making work here, right? Trying to make some meaningful progress here. But again, you're probably going to get some charges on that Red Hulk, so you can't really do anything about it. You have to aim for Forge and Sunspot, take care of this Extreme X-Men team so that way they're not going to be a problem reviving each other and bringing them back with the synergies. And that is kind of why I'm focused on him right now with all the attacks. Even despite losing Vulture, we still have some really, really good damage with both Skrull and Apoc, and as well as Robbie obviously getting the turn meter whenever there's bleeds and so forth getting applied, which is awesome here. Debuffs is really, really strong with this team. So yeah, this wasn't really that long of an attempt, but we did some really, really good progress here. And you can see we're just now being mindful of who to target. Yeah, and it is what it is. They're just slowly falling now. So this basically concludes the attempt here. As you guys can see, they're pretty much finishing our team, and we're just trying to do as much damage as we can with the bleeds and so forth. But at this point, yeah, it might be one of those ones where it's an intentional loss because you just want to do as much damage as possible before they clean up your team here. But now this sets us up for a really, really good attempt here in the next attack. And what's nice about this is that, again, we'll start things off here with the majority of our cooldowns. Exception is Vulture because he was taken down pretty early. Controlling that right side, rewinding them back. We got Robbie using the special on Forge as well. Again, we have emphasis on focusing the Extreme X-Men team now that we kind of set up the stage here for some 2 really good attacks. Boom, just like that, Red Hulk goes down. So we know he's not coming back after that. That's good because I don't think there's any more Red Hulks, hopefully not. But you can see here, guys, now we're just, again, focusing on that Forge. He provide buffs, obviously, to the Extreme X-Men team, and we just want to make sure that they're all cleaned up here. We decide not to use Super Skrull's Ultimate because we know there's going to be another wave coming anyways, so we're going to take our time with this. But you can see the debuffs, these enemies getting controlled. It is just a matter of timing now, and this is a great timing here for Apocalypse too because of the fact that our team was getting a little bit weaker. Having the special is going to heal up the team. Just some great, amazing damage and synergy with this team, right? Once you're able to get through that first wave and 2 of those mass enemies, it's definitely more smooth sailing because now we're in control here. We have all our abilities basically ready to go to control and really take our time, especially given the number of debuffs on the enemies that we're up against here. Doing work here. And yeah, now at this point, at 20 out of 35 enemies, it is basically just cleaning up here and being mindful of our cooldowns once again. So this is definitely going to be the best attack out of the initial one so far, because we actually have time here to pace ourselves, build up energy, and as you can see, we're controlling with the debuffs and really just honestly focusing on these enemies. I love the exposure that we're getting from Super Scroll, because every time that we tag an enemy with that, it's going to do some natural AoE damage. And then again, we're just building up our energy at the same time as well, making this very, very easy for us to manage. Leave Hulkbuster here for the very end. Once he actually gets taken down, we do start off this next wave here with an Apocalypse and a bunch of Moon Knights and Phyla-Vels. Obviously, goes without saying, we want to be using all our abilities on this wave, because there's just a really, really strong mixture there. There's actually a Quicksilver tucked behind in that top left corner that I wasn't able to see when I was doing the initial gameplay. And now at this point, it's really just the management of the characters here that we're up against. So landing an ability block is pretty big on Quicksilver. And keep in mind too, we do have Phyla-Vel that can also cleanse, so it might be a character that you want to focus in to control. For myself personally, we were able to get all the energy back for Apocalypse, so it's nice because in this attack anyways, we actually get 2 chances to use his Empowered Falcon Punch. So it was great. We can actually land that on Apocalypse. Unfortunately, was not able to finish him off, but we did some really, really good damage. And obviously the goal here is to clean him up before he can use his empowered attack on our team. So really great opportunity, right? I felt like this one was nice because once you were able to get through really those initial 2 waves of enemies, those bursting down enemies, it set us up in a position to build up our energy for a really meaningful attack, as you see here. And now we're basically just trucking along. Honestly, it's pretty smooth sailing. No enemies here is really of concern, with the exception of Quicksilver and Apocalypse, but we had our cooldowns ready to go here. Now this is where it potentially could be problematic. So at 14 out of 35 enemies remaining, we're just about to take down Apocalypse. It does actually spawn this mixture here of more of these extreme X-Men characters. And again, guys, keep in mind too, you want to be very, very careful with the Forge here, because he can bring back some of the fallen extreme allies that we've taken care of, unless on the board here, as you see, there's actually 10 full enemies already. So that actually does help us because he can't actually use the revive, especially with Quicksilver summoning Scarlet Witch there. Obviously, the pain point is once again the Gambits. I absolutely hate their passive ping attacks, especially with him being able to land a heal block as well. So I think most folks will probably have a hard time with this wave, because you know you're aiming for the Apocalypse, but then you also still need to focus on the new wave enemies. And as well, remember, there's still the Quicksilver that we haven't taken care of. He's low HP, but he summons the Scarlet Witch that can also heal too. So just something to be mindful of. There's not really a right or wrong for this, because as long as you aim for Apocalypse and Quicksilver, chances are this team is likely to wipe you, or maybe you have a better luck than myself. But I didn't want to spend too much time. You can go ahead and just do as much damage as you can, but then at that point it is actually going to summon the last and remaining final wave here. And this is what's kind of nice. So Forge actually ends up using the ult, but the map was full, and that's kind of what you want to take advantage of. Make sure he uses the ult, then you're actually in a good spot to finish this attempt here. You know his ult is activated, so then you're good with obviously just finishing this out and burning some of the attacks, building up energy, so forth. But very, very good attack here. I'm pretty happy with how this turned out, because now we're going to be starting off here with the majority of our cooldowns. Our characters in really good position, and there's only 10 enemies remaining in the anti-trade section, so right before we head into city notes. So yeah, really good, guys. As per usual, I like to kind of review and show you guys my attacks here, but this is probably going to be the best attack out of this attempt anyways, and definitely the hardest note so far that we've seen. And attack 3 being 319 million, much higher than my attack 2, and actually way higher than my attack 1 as well. So hopefully you guys enjoy this. One more attack to finish this off. Thank you for your time as always, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.